What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC, USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 22nd day of August, and here we are. About 4 hours and 11 minutes left in the day. I'm getting a late start. You know, my apologies, but I got stuff I got to do. 116.7K is the price. You know, I want to give a special shout out to all the haters, all the bears, all the trolls who were in the comments down here. I had a couple, or maybe more than a couple, of snide comments down here, and it's just funny how loud they are down there, and it's complete crickets up here. I wonder why that might be. Is it because we've moved up all the way to $117.4 thousand and we're sitting now at 116.6K? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why. I don't know what it is, why they're so loud down at the lows, but they're just quiet here. But nonetheless, guys, we're having the move that we're looking for, right? The volume's coming in. 4-hour time frame looks good. Looking at the daily time frame here, we are increasing in volume as well, and we've got a nice bullish engulfing candle upon us right now. We are not out of the woods yet, though, okay? Right here, where this high was, is right at this prior area of support that we were finding for a very long time there, for weeks, right? If we reject off this area, it is still a possibility that we could go lower. It is, right? We're getting a nice reaction. I mean, this is the biggest day that we've had since we were moving up to new all-time highs back in July. This is the biggest day we've had in over a month to the upside, or is it? Yeah, it is. And that's a pretty damn proper reaction off of what could be presumed to be a double bottom. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's important to wait for confirmation no matter how exciting things look. Just like here, that's a pretty bearish candle, but that doesn't mean the bear market's starting. That's not a double top, right? Just like here, this is a pretty bullish candle, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're saved yet, okay? We're still in this range, and I think, you know, as I was saying yesterday or the day before, it's very important to get above about 119.4K. We close above there on a daily time frame. I don't care who you are, bull, bear, whatever, you're delusional at that point. If we close a day, not get above, but close a day above 119.4K, you are genuinely delusional if you still think that we're going to go lower. I know there's a lot of people who are waiting on the gaps down at 92, 97, 103K to fill the CME gaps. You're going to have to learn the hard way, right? I would assume, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I would assume anybody who's waiting for those gaps to fill, it's probably your first cycle. Understand, if you're one of those people, you're one of the gap people who thinks that the gaps down below 100K have to fill before we move higher, and it is your first cycle, I'm talking to you. Look at the past cycles. Look at the past couple of years. We went over, the other day I made a video going over like 12 different instances over the past year alone, or maybe like 2 years, where we did not fill gaps. There's still gaps at 30K, 40K, 60K, 70K. There's gaps all over the place that don't get filled, okay? Those three gaps that are between 103K and 92K, they don't have to fill, and they likely will not fill. And I wouldn't even be surprised, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I wouldn't be surprised, it's Friday now, so Saturday, Sunday, if we moved up over the weekend, we gave another gap, we baited the bears to short right at the moment where we're about to break out. This is the biggest move that we've seen in over a month, you guys. I think that this is going to create some growth. And again, something that I've prophesied, I don't know what the proper, is it prophesied, that I've given a prophecy to, something that I've been saying for a long time, is that this next move will be the biggest move that we've had of the cycle. It'll be the most robust. And I said that back here. And let's be fair, these moves have actually been some of the smaller moves that we've seen this cycle. It's been rather tame. But I think we're loading up for that move. And look at this very bullish reversal we're having on this week, you guys. We got 2 days, 5 hours left. If we close this weekend green, I would assume, I mean, obviously not only will we have a gap up, but I would assume that gap doesn't fill, okay? Now, before we get too ahead of ourselves, I wouldn't be surprised if we found some resistance here, and we clearly are finding some resistance here, but if we came back down to about 115K, namely because if we look at the past day in long liquidations, short liquidations on this liquidation map here, there's been about over $4 billion in longs piled on. That's a lot. That's a lot for Bitcoin, okay? We were having like 2 billion just the other day, and now it's double that because of the mayhem. Most of these longs get cleared out, or at least over half of them get cleared out at 113K. A good bit of them, we get like 700 million that get cleared out at 115K. I guess, you know, 114.5K down at about $1 billion gets cleared out down there. It's very possible that we go lower. I want to entertain that thought that we do go lower from here first, maybe back test this 114K area right here, and then continue to grow. I want to entertain that thought. Let's see if that happens. If not, again, buckle up your seatbelts, boys and girls. We really could be on a moon mission right now. Don't get too excited. Just because it's a big candle doesn't mean that we have to continue at this pace. But at the same time, it's pretty damn exciting. I gotta admit, it's pretty damn exciting. I want to keep this one up because I actually do have a position taken in this one, and I think that I mean, it's doing well, right? It's been pumping pretty hard. We made a video about it. I want to say down here at like 13 cents. I can't remember where. Oh, but it was like a few days ago. Um, let's see here. Oh, we're frozen. We're frozen up, baby. Okay, here we go. Loading up now. Okay, so 1 hour time frame. That's what we want right here. All right, so a lot of volume. Clearly a lot of volume. We're continuing to move up and volume's dying off. Okay, we're getting some clear signs of reversals or at least of a stop. We're finding resistance here at prior areas of support. If we take an overall high here to an overall low here, you are right above your 382, and it's pretty common when you find some resistance that you find it just above your 382 like this, and then you come back down to your 236. Where's your 236? 114.6K, which again, that area basically clears out $1 billion in longs. Okay, so that wouldn't surprise me too much. We'd clear out this little area, keep that area there, maybe pile on some shorts, right? Oh, it was just a fake out. It's just a lower high. No, this is a clear breakout of this downtrend, right? This is just the beginning, breaking out of this downtrend here. We're absolutely going to grow more, but it's very common to go from your 382 to your 236. Just because it's common doesn't mean we have to go there. Doesn't mean we have to stop there either. Sometimes in really volatile situations, which I feel like Bitcoin's been very volatile lately, we do go all the way down to the 069. So we could go as low as 112.5K and still maintain a bullish posturing. I mean, after all, that would be a higher low still, right? So don't get your hopes diminished if we do go below 113K again. That doesn't mean that we're going lower, but in an ideal situation, we would hold that 114.5K area. You can wick a little bit below there, but we don't want to go too far below there, okay? Essentially, finding support at the 236 and at prior areas of resistance and support here. We go back, we keep looking, right? This line that we're finding resistance at now, we found resistance at before, support at before. It makes sense. We find a little turbulence here. Now, another thing that we could do, what's pretty common with the fibs too, especially in strong environments, which we're in right now, is that you kind of consolidate around the 382. Again, we don't have to go to the 236. So depending on, and being that this is the 1 hour time frame, I would expect that if we continue into Saturday, like it's Saturday and maybe even the beginning of Saturday and we're doing stuff like this, I would think at that point we're absolved of going lower. If you're expecting these lower prices, they're probably not going to come and we're going to move higher to the golden ratio. Regardless of if we move lower first or if we move higher first, if we move lower and then we come up, if we just come up, the golden ratio will be the next area of resistance, and that's at about 119.4 to 120.3 thousand dollars. Okay, that's the next area to find resistance. With that being said, keep in mind Bitcoin has liked to shoot past its golden ratio throughout this whole range and go to the 786. Even to the 886, as we just saw recently with this low, 120K, sorry, 121.6K to 123K should be of like mention here, should be mentioned, should be put on notice. But I am sticking with this idea of finding resistance at 120.3 to 119.3K as well, or 119.4. That doesn't mean that it's going to be long-lived resistance. I just mean some kind of resistance. If it's like this, we're just kind of chilling here. Okay, cool. And then we move up. That's resistance there. You know, we don't have to correct back down. But typically, and in an ideal situation, one of the most classic fib setups that I can think of, you go just above the 382 like this, you come back to the 236. You go to the golden ratio like this, and you come down and find support at the 0.5 or 382 area, something like that, okay? In an absurdly strong situation, you'd find support at the 0.5, or you just dilly-dally in the golden ratio. After that, you go up to the 786, 886, where you can do one of two things. Come back to the golden ratio and find support, or you just blast through the roof. One of those two things. Once we blast through the roof, whether we come down first or we just continue, the immediate targets to consider, and I would think that by the end of the month we will be here, if not certainly over the next coming days, $128,000 to $133,000. That's the primary target zone, the 1272 fib extension to the 1618. Once you get above the 1618, we're opening up the floodgates to the secondary target area, which is 137K to about $148,000. Okay. Now, Bitcoin has been showing a lot of respect, or I should say disrespect, to its 2618 lately, and it has been going right through to its money zone, as I like to call it, the orange area, the 3113 to the 2886, both as a form of extending to the upside and even to the downside. We've shown this kind of significance. So since we found our all-time high, our prior all-time high now, back in the middle of July there, right back at like 123K, was it, or 122K, whatever this one was. That was in the middle of July. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see prices that are above 148K by the end of this month of August. I mean, I really do expect that we're going to rip at a phenomenal pace here. And if we do make a move like this, I mean, that's by the end of August. August is over here, right? Or September's over here. This is the 1st of September right there. So if we make this move, we could make this move all the way up like this, more or less, and get up to 140 to 156K by the beginning of September. I know a lot of people, I feel like the next target area that I hear about whenever it comes to the upside for Bitcoin, a lot of people are talking about 150K, 130 to 150K, but primarily I hear 150K. On this channel, we talk about 180K religiously. That's the area that I'm expecting that we go to, about 180 to $190,000, maybe 170 on the low end. Okay, that's where I ultimately think this next area is going to be. And perhaps what's going to happen, because so many people are expecting 150K to be resistance, perhaps what we see is a little bit of resistance in this area. We make it out like we're going to consolidate in these long multi-week, multi-month consolidation phases, but then we have a little fake out to the upside, or maybe not a fake out, but like a final push that fakes out the market, makes people think that we're in this crazy up run to $100 or to $200,000 and beyond, and then we find resistance right up here at about $180,000 all the way up at this 4618. It's also at the 1618 of this overall trend. I'm sure I'm losing some people. They're like, dude, you're talking too many numbers, too many fibs here. But let's just see. High to low here. You know, you got the 2272 right there. Typically, you do go just above the 2272. Maybe we do make a run all the way up for $204,000. I don't know. I'm not saying it can't happen. Let's see. If we look at this here, let's see. Hold on. From a high to a low. Golden ratio's at $174,000 right there. I don't know if you guys can hear it because my mic is on the other side of the of this like desk that I've got my setup on. But my daughter keeps yelling. If you guys are hearing that in the background, she just keeps, well, not yelling. She was like singing, and it sounds like she was dancing even, but then she just yelled right there. But so it sounds like a playful yell, not like a little brat yell, thankfully. But I don't know if you guys can hear that. And if you can, you just deal with it, because it is what it is. Yeah, if you're wondering what that noise is, that's just my daughter. Or maybe none of you can hear it at all. I don't know. But 180K, guys. There's a lot of significance in the 170 to 190, even $200,000 level. Let's look at the indicators now. Okay, I've given you kind of a roadmap of what my thoughts are, right? Let's make sense out of going lower. I mean, if we were to go lower. The 1 hour RSI is overbought. Cool off a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Cool off, and come down and find support at the 40 or the 50 area, something like that. Get a higher low in the RSI overall. Maybe Saturday we find a higher low, and then Sunday we continue to pump as we normally do. MACD's crossing above the zero, stochastics look bullish. All this stuff is good for continuation, but maybe a little bit of a break here, right? Again, looking at and maybe even we should bust out the 15-minute. You see here that we're pushing higher, but volume's dying off. We even had some bearish divergence here, so come down a little bit. But I don't think we're going to see a big drop. I don't think with something like that we're going to see a big drop. Yes, Jerome Powell is cutting interest rates. We addressed that. I addressed that in a video yesterday. I forget what the video's title was, but basically it was like September's primed for, maybe it was 2 days ago. It was like September, Bitcoin is primed for a pump in September or something like that. Stochastics look bullish. The RSI, I have to admit here, if we turn around, if we get a red candle on this 4-hour candle, which we just started, that would not look good because you're rejecting the overbought zone. And you kind of are showing rejection areas, but that's okay. You can reject. That just might put us on pause again for another day. So maybe Saturday we start to, or Sunday we start to move up higher. The MACD looks like it wants to cross, which is nice. We're just waiting on that. You know, you might find some turbulence here, and that's okay. Daily time frame, looking at this. I mean, you look great. On the RSI, you look great. On the stochastics, you look great. And you're right at the area you want to bounce from on the MACD, and I think you're going to get that bounce. So all good things. At the end of the day, my friends, I would say that I would not be too surprised at all if we did go back below $115,000, maybe over the next 24 hours. That doesn't mean that we have to, but I guess that's the call that I'm making right now, that we do go down to about 114.5K, 114.6K. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. If we do start moving up above, like, let's say, I want to give a closer answer or number than this. Let's see if I can do something here. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it's going to have to be that. If we get above 117.9K, then that, I would think, would prove me wrong, that we're probably not moving down to 114.5K. If, you know, it's been 12 hours or 14 hours and we're doing something like this, then I think that would also prove me wrong and we're not going down to 114.5K. In one of those scenarios where we get above this or you move sideways like this for about half a day or so, those two scenarios would provide that we go to the golden ratio rather immediately, if not higher, okay? And then in which case, maybe we do go to the golden ratio, then we come back down to find support here, we go up here, we come back down to the golden ratio to find support, or back down here to find support, whatever. We'll go from that on the next Bitcoin video. But at the moment, I'm sticking with just the standard setup, which is 382, 236, golden ratio. Let's see how it works out. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. Good job, everybody. Really happy for everybody. It's fun, man. I have a lot of fun on the down days, but it's definitely fun whenever everybody else is excited too. I love seeing the exuberance and excitement in the markets. Everybody's happy, right? Everybody except the bears, the people who are selling, right? They're still clinging on to hope, man. That's the thing. And right now, let's be fair. Right now, there's reasons for that. You are finding resistance at prior support. We're not out of the woods yet, right? That's the first thing that I said in this video. But this is a pretty damn bullish engulfing candle after a pretty bearish shakeout. This is the biggest move to the upside that we've seen since July 10th. It's not the biggest candle that we've seen. The biggest candle did go to the bears, let's be fair. And I mean, there are a couple of big ones, but this is a pretty big candle so far. If things go the way that I think they will, by the end of this month, you guys, not only will we be at new all-time highs, but we should be well above 130K, even 100, maybe even as high as 150K. Going into September, end of September, we're looking for that 100 and anything from 150 to 180K, and ultimately I think this destination is going to stop at about $180,000, whether that's in the end of September or sometime in October. We've yet to see, but time will tell. I've got nothing else to say. I'm just talking at this point, so I'm going to end it there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I am going to measure one more thing real quick. You know, how long did it take? That was a 47-day period there before we broke out. We're on our 39th day now. I'm just saying, man, what 47 days would be what, end of month? I'm just saying, man, we're gonna see some explosive behavior take place. I really do think that this move is going to be bigger than any other move we've seen this cycle. Absolutely. Like when I say bigger than any other move this cycle, I mean look at all these moves we've had. Up move here, pretty small moves. Up move here, decent. That one was pretty decent too. This one was pretty decent. That one was pretty small. We're going to see something that's bigger than any of them. I really do think that we're going to see something that takes us up to 180K and beyond. All right, I'm just repeating myself. So take care, hit the like button. And if we are going lower, if I'm wrong, and if all the bulls are wrong and the bears are right, what I will say is all we got to do then would be to close this week, or any week really, below 114.7K. No, that doesn't feel... That feels misleading. Let's not say that. I keep trying to end the video, but we're in a precarious situation right now, so I wanna make sure that we got all our bases covered. Low to high here. Yeah, close a day. No. We're gonna stick with the 069. Close a day below 112.5K. If we do that, then maybe targets down to 110 to 108,000 dollars are possible. But until then, I think that we're safe, guys. I think that we really are. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I got nothing else. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye.